There's certain people like that in the world. And you want to believe, that people can, from nowhere, from rags to riches. You want to believe that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I do. I believe that stuff. My problem is, where are these people? I mean,
why aren't they coming forward? Why aren't they really like full force?
Why are we so alone in all this?
Well, some of them do.
Jason, Bob Dylan knows about this stuff.
Yeah, but at the same time, I went and saw. All right, I got to let you go because of the echo, Jimmy. But at the same time, I'm still paying. What did I pay? I paid $45 a ticket to see Bob Dylan 6 months ago. I mean, he's still an icon. He still feels like, I have my career. I don't know if I should come out. You remember when Charlie Sheen came out? I mean, he was attacked all over the place. He was on the covers of magazines again. He may have killed a hooker. He's in it with his ex-wife. I mean, even when Willie Nelson came on this show, he was attacked by O'Reilly and a bunch of other right-wingers. And I mean, the man is a legend. So people are sometimes self-concerned. Other people do have blind spots. Other people want to just keep to themselves. I thank filmmakers like David Lynch for coming out and saying, take a look at this movie, Loose Change, and people like Peter Gabriel who wrote on their MySpace blog, please take a look at this film. I think a lot of people have done small things. I wish that more people would step up to the plate and try to win some ball games because that's what I'm here to do. And, I guess I do have that whole mentality where I did grow up poor. I really never have had anything. And to me, I'm the lowest common denominator. So if I'm not going to stand up for myself and people like me, no one is going to. And that's why I do what I do. I'm not just up there taking swings. I'm taking cuts to knock it out of the park. And not everybody's going to have that mentality. A guy who does have that mentality is Larry Pratt, who's been in this for so long. So we really have to, I think, gather around those we do have and stop focusing on who we don't have and why they're not helping us out. Hey, if those people want to reach out, they can bring in an audience. But for now, we got to stick to what we got. Correct, Larry?
Let me put it another way, because I quite agree. Mm-hmm. The principle that we're discussing is how do things happen in history. And frankly, majorities don't make things happen. And for us to wait around to get into gear until a majority is evident is just not the way it's going to get done. We got to be organized. We will get it done when we're organized and push it through.
I couldn't agree more. And, the American Revolution wasn't popular with everybody. It was a smaller segment of the population that got in there and said,
precisely.
Yeah, and said, you know what? You're not going to tax me without representation. We're not going to be raped anymore. Final segment with Larry Pratt on the other side. It's the Info Warrior with Jason Bermas.
The world appears to be on the brink of collapse. Experts say a pinch of heirloom vegetable seed could soon be the most valuable resource on Earth because it will provide healthy food now and every year after. Survivalistseeds.com now has the Heirloom Garden Seed Time Capsule, allowing you to store your seeds for the future anywhere, even underground, for 100 years. The Heirloom Garden Seed Time Capsule can withstand 3 tons of weight, is 100% rodent-proof, waterproof, and comes with a whopping 6,000 healthy vegetable seeds from 20 varieties that will grow anywhere in the USA. Unless you trust the government, the Heirloom Garden Seed Time Capsule and heirloom seeds from Survivalistseeds.com is your long-term food solution. Our competition charges 10 cents to $1.25 per seed for these same heirloom varieties. But you can now have a head of lettuce, a bundle of carrots, a basket of tomatoes, a giant watermelon, and 16 other varieties for about a penny a seed each. Be prepared. Buy your heirloom seeds today from Survivalistseeds.com and have food insurance for your family forever. Visit Survivalistseeds.com. Survivalistseeds.com is owned by Big John Lipscomb, host of the Don't Tread on Me radio show.
All right, folks, we are back. Final segment with Larry Pratt of Gun Owners of America. I believe the website is gunowners.org. And, go ahead, Larry.
No, I was going to affirm that is the right address, gunowners.org.
Excellent. And, you just made a great point that throughout history, change never really comes from the majority. It comes from the minority. And names come out of nowhere. Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, people that had real effects on human civil rights, they come out of nowhere.
Our own founder was a California state senator for over 2 decades, H.L. Richardson. Mm-hmm. When he first got elected back in the 60s, he ran in a very Republican district, but it was an open seat, and everybody and his uncle was running. I think there were 8 or 10 candidates. Richardson won, I don't even remember the exact percentages, but it was something like 8% of the vote. That was a majority of the few that were present and voting and had spread their votes across that large group of candidates, so that he was somewhat better organized than the rest of them, and he was able to limp across the finish line with that very low percentage of just the low percentage of those that came out to vote, hardly even a percentage to speak of all the potential voters. He went on to hold that seat without serious opposition for 22 years.
Yeah, and you fast forward to modern times, the Alex Jones channel had about 30 million hits in 18 months. He was on the featured page every single day. So that is why that, hacktivism, and if you're anti-technology, in other words, you use MySpace to coerce people politically. They want to demonize us because we are starting to beat them at their own game with much less resources. Let me tell you, folks, we don't have 1/10 the money the smallest studio in Hollywood has, and we pump out 2, 3, sometimes 4 movies a year that hundreds of thousands of people see on the first day and millions see in the first week. It is unbelievable to me that people have not picked up on the fact that we are the reason that Google Video is still in its beta form, 4+ years later. We are the reason that they're mentioning, well, if you're in the alternative media, you might be a terrorist. And, if you have a Ron Paul bumper sticker, you might be a terrorist. And by the way, if you're handing out America Freedom to Fascism, you also might be a terrorist. I mean, America Freedom to Fascism, the great film that exposes the Federal Reserve for what it is, this cartel that controls our lives. Larry, are people going to wake up to this, or are we just going to, put our heads down, bow down to Obama, love the GIVE Act, and go to the FEMA camps?
Well, it seems to me that Obama has made a mistake that I didn't think he was going to make. I thought he was going to be a continuation of the smiley face in the campaign, the voice of reason, and I didn't expect him to make so many overt moves that were so noticeable to anybody that's paying the slightest attention. Instead, he is openly grabbing for it all, and he's got more hubris and arrogance than even the Republicans had when they had their majority and they thought they would never get thrown out of office. Well, Obama's got that same attitude, and many times over, it seems like. And I think what he's done is produce a reaction that in part the market itself is registering. People are buying guns and ammo like crazy, and already I've seen people doctoring up photos of Obama with the legend Firearms Salesman of the Year.
Well, that is the one encouraging point, that people are out in droves buying ammunition, buying guns, especially ones they think are going to be banned. My right-wing conservative gun-owning friends are very concerned. They've gone out and they've doubled their stockpile. Larry Pratt of Gun Owners of America. It's gunowners.org. Thank you for joining us. It's the Info Warrior with Jason Bermas, PrisonPlanet.tv, Infowars.com, and remember my little blog, theinfowarrior.com.